Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. We're doing something a little bit different today. First off, sorry about being late. We're just kind of smoothing out some stuff. This is the U.S. team's first ever straight AMA on YouTube. So we're gonna try it out, see how it goes. We'll be able to show you some stuff. We got our setup here. So if you have any questions, please pop into the chat and ask away, and we'll do our best to show you what we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this shot right here, if I can find it. This guy. Okay, there we go. I looks like I just got Etherscan up and MetaMask, but I can also have Ledger Live pulled up here. So I got my work accounts and I got a few accounts that we can play around with and do some stuff. A little bit of ETH, Matic. We can connect to various wallets. Pretty much whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys want to see, let us know. And yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, actually, I do not have. I'm gonna go ahead and send out a quick message. Boom. All right. Well, we don't have any questions yet, so I will go ahead and come back here. All right, so we have a question from Crypto McDuck. He's saying, "Hi, Crypto McDuck. First off, how you doing? Let me go ahead and see if I can answer your question. I have two XRP accounts on my Ledger Nano S Plus. One is active. Let me switch back. One is active on Ledger Live, and the other is hidden via passphrase. How do I transfer XRP from my active account to my hidden account?" That's actually a really good question. Let me see if I can show you. So basically, the short answer is, let me switch back to the main shot so I can kind of explain passphrases a little bit to you a little bit. So your passphrase, as you probably already know, is also referred to as your 25th word. And so the way that works is you'll get your 24-word recovery phrase, and that'll always stay the same. You'll always have to have that recovery phrase. And then as an advanced option, you can set up a passphrase, which is the 25th word. And the 25th word is super cool. The 25th word, it can be, I think, up to 120 characters. It can have special characters. It is case sensitive. It is more just for anybody else that's listening. You are probably already aware of this. But the way it works is it'll set up an entirely new set of accounts that are an extension of your 24-word recovery phrase. So for instance, if you were to reset your Nano and you would want to gain access to your passphrase account, you'll still need your 24-word recovery phrase. And then after you import that into your Nano, then you can set up your passphrase again and use the same word. So the reason I explain all this is because it's important to remember that your passphrase accounts and your 24-word recovery phrase accounts are completely separate from one another. You actually set up a new PIN when you access your passphrase accounts for your Nano when you set that up, and your new PIN will unlock only those accounts. So that being said, the way to send crypto from your normal accounts to your passphrase accounts is the same as sending crypto from any account to any other account. You're going to have to actually initiate a transaction over the blockchain. So let me switch back to my Ledger Live view real quick. And so it'll look the same as this. So what you can do is, let's say this Matic account right here is part of my passphrase accounts. And let's say this ETH account is with the same Nano, but it is, and actually here, you know what? I'm gonna make this even. I'm going to add, like this is a little awkward, but basically what you would do is you would come here to your passphrase account, you would do the receive, you continue, and you'll get your public wallet address for your passphrase account. You'll copy that. You can now exit out, and then you can go back to your accounts, and then you can send it from this account to your passphrase account. And then it'll be a completely different wallet address, and that will transfer your funds from one account to the other. I hope that makes sense. All right. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah.
Sorry. Give us 1 minute. We're kind of having some technical difficulties here. Okay, here. All right, so looks like we got a question from Jesse Bradley. I sent Ethereum coins, ERC20, to a BNB Smart Chain wallet. Did I lose all my assets? Almost certainly not. Show you what I mean. So when you, so let's see. So let me reread the question again. Ethereum coins to a BNB Smart Chain wallet. So there's a good chance that this happened possibly when withdrawing from Binance, and this is just an assumption. It may not be the case. But if that is the case, then let's see. Sorry, this is like all technical here. Like, yeah. So if you go here, I'm gonna do a little thing for you here. So I'm gonna generate my receive address for this ETH account. You'll see it's 0x2f8c. Just remember that, and then 08c1. And I'm really just showing you right now that these different networks, if created from the same nano, have the exact same wallet address. And so let's go down to this Polygon, which is on the Polygon network. We're going to have to generate the receive address for this. And it's exactly the same, 0x2f8, 08c1. So I'm gonna go continue. So basically, your Ethereum, it can exist as a token on any EVM network. And so if you send it to a Binance Smart Chain wallet, that's the same wallet address as your Ethereum account, then all you'd have to do is add a Binance Smart Chain account into Ledger Live, and you should see your tokens. And they'll be it'll kind of look like this. Let me so you'll have your BSC account, and then you'll have Ethereum wrapped tokens within that account once you add your Binance Smart Chain account. And that's really just a selection that's made when you withdraw from the exchange. The easiest way to get it back onto Ethereum, if you'd like to, is just to send it back to the exchange and select the option to, during the withdrawal steps, you would want to make sure you have Ethereum network selected, and then it'll show up in your Ethereum account. So here, I got this nano shot right here. Let me go ahead in real quick so I can really show you what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. So we got the nano here. Let me go ahead and add an account because we do not yet have a Binance Smart Chain account in Live. And now this is the same nano that created those other two accounts that I showed you here. So it wants me to open the Binance Smart Chain app. It can sometimes take a minute to synchronize. All right, cool. So this is Binance Smart Chain 1 as by default, but I'm going to go ahead and rename this BSC-S Plus just to match the other ones. That way I know that all these accounts were created from the same nano. If I was using my Nano X, I would do this. I would say BSC-X. And since I have multiple Nano X's, because I'm a crypto nerd, depending on which Nano X it is, I would do 1 or 2. And this is how I personally differentiate my different accounts. So we'll go ahead and add this Binance Smart Chain account. And I do not have any assets in my work account for Binance Smart Chain, but we can still go ahead and do this. We can generate the receive address for this as well. Now that we have the nano plugged in, we're going to go ahead and allow it to do the proper syncing process. So you see on the nano, it says verify address, and you'll see here is 0x2f8, 08c1. This is the exact same wallet address as both my Ethereum account and the Polygon account. And if I were to make a, let's see, what other account could I make? I can't think of one off the top of my head, so we'll just do that. So right now, go here, I can verify the address. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. We're done. Go back to the accounts. So yes, that's kind of how that works. It's a little confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, it makes it a lot easier. So let's see what other questions we got. All right. White Walker, that's a good question. That's a little bit of a touchy subject, but I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. The issue with buying certain assets like XRP is that it's a problem with legality. We have Ledger itself does not have. Let me switch back to the shop. Ledger itself does not have any actual input in the buying and selling of crypto, or even really the swapping of crypto. All these features are handled by third party companies that we're partnered with, and so these companies have to abide by the local laws of whatever region that they're offering their services in. So, for instance, if you are in the United States and you're trying to purchase XRP, since XRP is illegal in this country, it's most likely not going to be possible to offer that service. And that's why there's a little bit of difficulty with XRP specifically, but it's the same case with other cryptos as well. Let me go ahead and move on to the next question. All right, Jose Lenny Solidum. Apologize for that butchering of your name if I got that wrong. But your question is, you have ADA on Ledger and staked via Eternal Wallet. If Eternal is hacked, is my staked ADA lost? That is a fantastic question. And the answer is no. So when you connect your Ledger to the third-party wallet Eternal to stake your ADA, you're not actually, let me back up a little, because this is a little bit of a complex thing. So Eternal is a wallet that allows you to manage your Cardano assets on the Cardano blockchain. Your crypto does not actually exist within this wallet. And on that same exact vein, your crypto in Ledger Live is not actually in Ledger Live. All crypto only ever exists on the blockchain itself. And so when you connect your Nano to Ledger Live and create your accounts, what you're doing is you're sharing the public wallet address of the crypto account that you want to add into Ledger Live, and it derives this straight from your 24-word recovery phrase, and it lets you add that into Ledger Live. And afterwards, Ledger Live has the tools to manage those assets. You can send, receive, in some cases stake. We're constantly building functionality to make this application more and more awesome for our users, but it's very much a work in progress. And so that's why for certain assets like Cardano, you would want to connect it to the Eternal wallet or Yori or Daedalus, one of the other Cardano wallets that have increased functionality for that blockchain that we have not quite built in yet. And so, so the process is the same. When you connect to Eternal, you are deriving your public wallet address, you're sharing that with Eternal, and now Eternal is letting you manage your assets. So technically, staking through Eternal and staking through Ledger Live or staking through Yori or staking through Daedalus for Cardano is really the exact same thing. The only thing that's changing is the interface that you're using to manage these transactions, if that makes sense. And so if Eternal was ever hacked, it would have no impact whatsoever on your funds, as long as you go through the correct process to connect your hardware wallet the right way, which is by going through the connect hardware wallet steps and not sharing your recovery phrase with Eternal. If you do share your recovery phrase with Eternal by manually importing it in, and then your computer gets hacked, then it is possible for your recovery phrase to get leaked and for your assets to be in jeopardy. But otherwise, there's no possible way that can happen. I hope that answers your question. All right, let's begin. How to remove Polygon from Ledger Live Phone. So if you have a, let me see if I can pull up my thing. But if you have a account in Ledger Live Mobile, it's very easy to remove it. You would just go to, you can actually Google like Ledger, how to remove accounts, and you can pull up our support page for more detailed instructions. But there's a fairly easy flow to remove accounts. And so you can remove your Polygon account at any time from Ledger Live. And then if you ever did want to add it back in, you can just connect your Nano via Bluetooth. Or if you have an Android phone, you can actually connect it via USB-C to USB-C. And you can just go through the process to add the account back in, because like we just discussed, your crypto is only tied to your recovery phrase. And so you can add, remove, delete accounts at your will. As long as your recovery phrase stays the same in your Nano, you'll always be able to add them back in. And then furthermore, even if something were to happen to your Nano, you could just get a new Nano, import your recovery phrase into that, and then use that to add your accounts. I hope I answered your question. Let's County Sheepdog, let's see. I tried to swap ANK for ACH, but it wouldn't let me. Then I tried to sell it, but it said I did not have enough gas fee. All right, let me switch back to this other shot so we can kind of dig into this. All right, so we're gonna minimize Ledger Live. We're gonna get that out of our way for now. We're gonna open up a new tab. We're gonna go straight to CoinGecko. That's first stop, CoinGecko. And CoinGecko is the best place to use. I'm not saying that CoinGecko is the best portfolio tracking tool. However, when it comes to Ledger Live, it is, because this is actually the API we use to pull in all of our token data. So if it's on CoinGecko, there's a good chance that it is supported in Ledger Live already. And so this is a good place to go to look up certain tokens. Let me scroll back up. So ANK, let's see what that is. ANK. So we got Anchor Network. Looks like it's the only one with that ticker, so I assume this is the one you're referring to. We'll go Anchor Network. Let's open up a new tab. Let's open up the other token, which is ACH. All right, there we go. Same thing, Alchemy Pay. All right, so I can see here that they're both ERC20 tokens on the Ethereum network. And so you should be able to swap for them. However, swapping between these two tokens, since they are both on the Ethereum network, is going to require Ethereum to pay the gas fee. And so if you don't have any Ethereum in your, and to be honest, swaps can be a little expensive, especially when done through a decentralized exchange. So if you are trying to initiate a swap, if you have less than about $20 in ETH, then there's a very good chance that you could be pulling this error message simply because there's not enough ETH to cover the swap fees. So if you definitely have more ETH than that in your account and you're still receiving some weird error, then you should reach out to us on our support page at support.ledger.com so that we can dig into it, because you may be experiencing some kind of other issue that's yet to be identified with our swapping service, and we'd love to take a look at that. But for now, that's let me see. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if that might be the issue, and if not, then maybe we can dive it a little bit. Now I'm going to move on to next question. Crypto McDuck. Unfortunately, I do not have information on when the Crypto Life card will be available. It will be eventually, but for now we don't really have any new updates. All right. Kevin Tran, the battery Nano X is dead, so it's not charging with power. So does this still work like Nano S, Nano S Plus? That's a really good question. Let me write the main shot. So yes, actually. So what that means is your battery is experiencing some issues in your Nano X. First off, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, we will replace that for you. Reach out to us at our support page, support.ledger.com. Open up a support ticket. It's a little tricky to open up a support ticket with the chat bot, but you're going to click on the Contact Us button at the bottom, answer all the questions, select No, it wasn't helpful, and get your way through it. And then once you're through that, you'll be able to give an email address, or if we have live chat agents available, you'll have the option to live chat. And since you're experiencing a battery issue that's preventing your Nano X from performing its function, we will 100% replace that for you. However, to answer your question furthermore, yes, you can still definitely use your Nano X as if it were a Nano S or Nano S Plus. The battery is not, the device does not depend on the battery to operate. The battery is really just to allow the additional Bluetooth feature of your device so that you can have it powered on, connected to your phone via Bluetooth without having it plugged in. but it's still perfectly functional. You can bypass the error message by pressing both buttons. However, that's not an ideal situation, and we would like to make this right for you. So reach out to us. We'll get you a new one. But for now, perfectly safe to use. All right. Driving. What's the likelihood of Ledger going Bitcoin only? Fortunately, not likely. There's just so many other blockchains, and so Ledger, we have support for blockchains and networks that have the most demand. And so as long as there's demand for other networks, and as long as other communities exist that would like their projects listed on our platform, we're going to do everything we can to help as many people as we can. So it's not likely that we'll ever become a Bitcoin only company. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Let's see what else we got. Okay. County Sheepdog. Thanks for getting back. So you have no ETH. Okay. So not only do swaps take ETH, but any transaction on the Ethereum network, even for tokens that are not ETH, always take ETH. It's the main governance token for the Ethereum blockchain. Miners are paid in ETH. So when you initiate a transaction from your Ethereum account, and it's a little confusing. It's kind of a hard concept for a lot of people that are primarily use exchanges for most of their crypto. Like for instance, if you just recently came to self custody to use self custody, and you previously had all your assets on the exchange covers network transaction fees. So when you perform swaps, let's say like on Coinbase or KuCoin or Binance or whatever platform you use, they're going to cover that for you, and they're just going to make the swap, and it's very clean. The reason they can do that is because they hold a very large amount of all the different various cryptos in their accounts, and then they use their own internal systems to track those changes. And then let's say at the end of the day or the week, they'll make massive transactions to cover all those. So if they work a little bit differently than having your own wallet in self-custody. So when you move to self-custody, you quickly find out that any transaction you try to make from your Ethereum wallet, for instance, you're going to have ETH to pay the network transaction fees. So you kind of get into the habit of always having a little bit of ETH in your wallet. And the same is true for any other blockchain. Bitcoin costs Bitcoin. Crypto.org costs Crypto.org, costs Crow. Binance Smart Chain costs BNB. It's the same story with all of them. So it's just something to discover and keep in mind. But I hope that's helpful. This is a good question. Will we ever be able to stake Polygon directly on Ledger Live? Most likely. Polygon's a little weird though. You probably already know since you're asking about it, but Polygon can actually only be staked on the Ethereum network. So when you stake your Polygon, you actually have to bridge it over to the Ethereum network as a token in your Ethereum wallet, and then you can stake it from there. And so this makes it a little bit more complicated. So we are working on it, but it's probably going to be a little bit before we're able to actually implement that. But again, since Polygon is a high demand blockchain, then we want our application to be able to support it as much as possible. So rest assured that it isn't. Okay, let's. Hey, Crypto McDuck, you're welcome. Yeah, super happy to help. Yeah, this is cool. It's a super cool way for us to communicate with the community and answer some questions. I know that sometimes response times can take a little bit for support tickets, and we do apologize for that. But we are a very small team, and we're trying to give everyone high quality answers. And so, unfortunately, there's a couple days delay in responses. But anytime you have the opportunity to pop into one of these, we do Twitter AMAs, we do Reddit AMAs. and now we're doing YouTube AMAs. And so if this is successful, then we'll keep doing it. So yeah, we appreciate it. If you have any questions, pop in. We're happy to help. Now let's see what. Sorry, Pink Zeller. I'm trying not to. Let me scroll back up. Okay. Sorry, Pink Zeller. Let me get to your question. My Ledger Nano X only works connected to cable. If it's not connected, it glitches and turns off. But I live in Mexico, and just shipping and taxes was like 150 US. That's ridiculous. Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. It's been like that since you got it new. Will my ledger die soon? If it glitches, seems like a short circuit. Pink Zeller, are you getting the error battery cannot charge message? Are you getting the actual error message with your Nano? If so, you should definitely reach out to us for a couple of reasons. One, we're going to replace your Nano X free of charge if you're experiencing that. But two, replacements, we actually also pay all of the shipping costs. So if you are experiencing this issue and need a new Nano, and maybe you haven't reached out because you're worried about having to, well, why the heck would I reach out to pay $150 to replace my product just in shipping? We're going to pay for all that. So you're going to receive a new Nano X free of charge. So once more, go to support.ledger.com and click on the Contact Us button at the bottom. Fill out the chatbot questions. Tell the chatbot it wasn't helpful, and that'll direct you to an agent, and then we'll get you taken care of. All right. Okay. Same deal. That's if you have a Nano X and it's shutting off when you unplug it, then that's also an automatic replacement. That's not. It shouldn't be doing that. It should stay on. Now, can you answer my question? When you hold down the left button, does it still power up? Like, can you power it up, or is it just unable to power up at all unless it's plugged in? Okay, I'll give you a couple seconds to answer that. In either case, it would be a replacement. Anytime your device is not working the way it's expected to work and it's experiencing that issue, then we'll send you a free of charge replacement. All right. Travis, that's a really good question. Let me. And once again, I apologize if I miss your questions. Just reader be like, Tim, what the heck? Don't ignore me. Answer my questions, and I'll get to it. I'll try to get to it. All right, Pravin. You are very welcome for answering your previous question. How do I make a customized seed phrase, a new ledger, or the same, like a song lyric? So that is kind of a tricky situation for a number of reasons. So let's dig into seed phrases. All right. So your seed phrase is we use a 24-word seed phrase, but you can actually have if you're familiar with MetaMask or other hot wallets, most of them use the 12-word seed phrase. Seed phrases can come in many lengths: 12, 15, 18, 21, or 24 words in length, I believe. And really all that means is the level of security that they offer, which you have the 12-word seed phrase, which is super secure, and then you have at the other end of the spectrum the 24-word seed phrase, which is ultra secure. They're all very secure, but obviously the more words you have, the more secure it's going to be. So it's important to know where seed phrases come from. All seed phrases are pulled from the same list of words. It's called the BIP 39 word list. And the BIP 39, that's Bitcoin Improvement Protocol 39. This is a standard that was created during the very early days of crypto that pretty much all blockchains follow now. They all follow the same BIP 39 standard. So what it is it's a list of 2,048 total possible words that all seed phrases are derived from. In fact, I'm going to pull it up right here. Let me switch over here to this shot. We're going to close out these right here. I'm going to go to BIP 39 word list. Google knows I look this up quite often. You can probably look at it here, but I like to go straight to the GitHub. Just a nice raw list. So you see right here, we have in order, in alphabetical order, all these words. There's 2,048 of them. And so if you were to control F for all your words in your seed phrase, they're all going to be on this list. And then there's a bunch of things to note about this list. I'm going to go through real quick. So one thing is every single word is uniquely identifiable by only the first four letters. That means that technically the rest of the word is not even included. And you would know that if you would see that firsthand if you were to ever tamp your seed phrase into steel, like or if you were to use a crypto steel capsule or Bill Fodl, where it has you only use the first four letters of each word to build out your seed phrase in steel. But this is actually a really good tool to understand this list and to know this list, because we actually get a lot of support tickets from people that they lose, break, smash, or their nano stops working, or they drop it in a cup of water and they're like, hey, but I got my seed phrase and I ordered a new nano and now my seed phrase doesn't work. It's saying I'm getting the error message. In fact, I'm going to show you that error message here in a minute. But I'm getting this error message saying that my recovery phrase is wrong. And so one way that you can troubleshoot that, this is one of those weird situations where it's really hard for us as support agents to help people with this, because we can never ask anyone, nor will we ever ask anyone for their 24-word recovery phrase. That's the biggest no-no in our industry. We don't want to know it. That is for your eyes only. And so it makes it kind of difficult for us to help people with these issues, because it's like, well, I can't manually search for your words for you. So, I got to explain to you how this works and hope that, hopefully I can explain it in a way that's easily understandable, because this stuff is not easy. Anyone who's been in crypto more than a minute knows that stuff is very confusing. But let me give you a really good example. This is one that I've ran into so many times. So I don't know about you guys, but if your writing is kind of messy, like mine is, like almost everybody's is, it can be really easy to make a mistake like this. You see these two words, blue and blur. This is my favorite example. When you write it down, an E could very easily look like an R could very easily look like an E, vice versa. And if only one word is incorrect when you import your recovery phrase, it's not going to work. The whole recovery phrase, or you won't be able to access your accounts. So one thing you can do is if you're having this issue where you've imported your recovery phrase and it's not working, you can come to the BIP 39 word list and look up each one of your words. And it might even be the case that one of the words you have written down is not even on this list. And you can be like, well, that's strange. Well, what word could it possibly be if it's not on this list? Then you can look for words that are similar to the one you have written down that are on this list. And honestly, we have very good success with helping people recover their assets this way, because it's not, knowledge is power, and understanding where recovery phrases come from is super important. So now that you know that, sorry to dump so much information on you. Let's switch back to the main shot. Understanding that, now you can understand that seed phrases actually cannot be custom built. It's even a little difficult to pick your own words from the BIP 39 word list. And there's other technical reasons why that is. We can get into it a little bit because I like explaining this stuff. So first off, your 24th word in your recovery phrase acts as a checksum for the previous 23 words. And so there's only a limited amount of words that your 24th word can be. And this is why when you do the math on the total possible combinations of how many seed phrases there can be, it's not as simple as 2,048 total words to the power of 24 spaces. It's actually a little bit more complex than that, because of the little nuances, like the 24th word being the checksum. And then I believe there's also other nuances where certain words can only be in certain orders. There's a little bit more that goes into it. So the only surefire way to generate your recovery phrase is at random from a piece of software that can generate recovery phrase the correct way. And you can test this out. Let me switch back. So not to say it's not possible. So let me show you one way you possibly could do this, and then I'll explain why this is a terrible idea. So first, we're going to go to iancoleman.io. We're going to go to the website. So this is a really cool tool. This lets you build seed phrases, and it lets you generate private keys from seed phrases. So you could go here and pick out all the words you want in your seed phrase from this list. They have to be from this list. But let's say you find 24 awesome words that you want from this list. You can come here and you can put them here in this box, and you can put them in different orders until you find one that works. And when you find one that works, it will spit that out a list of private keys down here from the derived addresses field. So you'll know it works. Now, going back to what I said, why it's a terrible idea to do that is because the second you have your seed phrase exposed to the internet in this way, and you put it on a website like this, it then becomes vulnerable. This website has now seen your seed phrase, and if your computer has malware on it, or if you get hacked in any way, it'd be very easy for that information to get leaked. And the same is true if you take a picture of your seed phrase with your phone and try to save it like in your iCloud account. iCloud accounts get hacked all the time. If you were to save it in like a 1Password, those are pretty secure, but they're not infallible, and they can be hacked, and they do get hacked. And so the only safe way to guarantee that your recovered phrase will never get leaked is to write it down on that piece of paper, or back it up in steel, or anything else, carve it in wood, but keep it completely offline. Never take a picture of it. Never input it into any software like Ian Coleman. Although it's a fun tool to play around and discover new things about seed phrases, not good to practice with your. I went really deep into the weeds there, but this is kind of a passionate topic of mine because this is the most important thing to understand when getting into crypto, because this is how you, especially with self-custody, because this is how you keep your assets safe. All right, let's see what else we get. Okay, Big Zeller. Yeah, reach out to us. Yeah, we'll help you out with that. All right. Having trouble with HBAR Hashpack app with my Nano, the disabled machine. HBAR is pretty complicated. It's one of our more complicated blockchains that we support. And the reason is in how they derive account addresses. We actually just revamped our Help Center article for connecting to the Hashpack and creating your account with your Nano. But basically, Ledger Live is not able to go through the account creation process for HBAR because of the weird nuances of the blockchain. And so you actually have to create your account through the Hashpack website. But then once you create your account, then you can add it into Ledger Live and manage your assets from Ledger Live. You can't stake yet through Ledger Live, but you can at least view and manage your assets. That way it's part of your portfolio in Ledger Live. And more functionality will come, and hopefully we figure out that the account creation process. We're definitely working on it, but as I mentioned before, big work in progress. It's a beast, and we're slowly building it up to be an even bigger beast. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Oh, but that being said, if you're having issues, like specific issues with creating your HPAC wallet, let me see if I can pull it. No, it's okay. Reach out to us on our support page. It'll be much easier because there's actually a lot of different things that could be going on with that. And it'd probably be better to have like an agent able to request your information, like your wallet address, and find out exactly kind of what's going on if you're having issues with that. Good question. Ghislaine LeBlanc, can Ledger become an exchange platform in the future? Not likely, because things get a little not messy. It's just it's a totally different business. We provide the self custody solution for people where they can store their assets offline, and that's our primary focus. We do have options in Ledger Live, as I mentioned before, to buy, sell, swap, but those are all through third party partners of ours, totally separate companies. Ledger itself, for now, our sole priority is to provide the best cold storage solution for our people. And to get into exchanges and stuff like that, that requires different regulations, different licenses. It's a totally different kind of business. Um, so maybe, but we'll see. Pink Zeller. Yes, I wonder that as well. I always wonder. So the question is, I always wonder what are the possibilities of people just randomly guessing seed phrases with AI by luck. Um, it is technically possible, but when you actually do the math for a total number of possible seed phrases that can be, it's like more. It's a number that's higher than total amount of grains of sand like in the whole universe or a total amount of atoms in the universe. It's a number so astronomically large that it is impossible to get to guess the same. Like let's say like someone randomly generates a seed phrase on their nano, then they create a Bitcoin account and it just happens to be the same seed phrase as someone else who has 100 Bitcoin in their account and then they magically have 100 Bitcoin. Yes, we all think about that. But so far, it's never happened. It's so unlikely that we use the word. The technical word to use is improbable, but really, from a practical standpoint, it is impossible. It is the number is so big, it's outrageously big. So probably not going to happen. G Graham asked, "What does it mean when I keep getting error can't synchronize?" This is so I explained it before a little bit, but in case you just popped in, well, I didn't explain this specifically, but basically, I described Ledger Live as being a application that allows users to interact with their crypto accounts on the blockchain. So your crypto is not actually in Ledger Live. That means that Ledger Live just creates the interface for you to work with your crypto in your accounts. And then, of course, your Nano is the key to your crypto accounts. That's why you have to sign everything from your Nano. So for that reason, Ledger Live has to pull in all your account data from all these different sources. So if you have a Bitcoin account, and if you have an Ethereum account, and you have a Tron account, and you have a Cardano account, and you have 50 other accounts, then all from different blockchains, then your Ledger Live has to go in one by one when it synchronizes and pull that information in to display for you, to give you your account balances, your transaction history, and so on and so forth. Now, the more accounts you have in Ledger Live, the slower this process can take, and the more likely it is to time out. You actually have to have a lot of accounts for that to happen, but it can happen. It can have slowdown. Another thing to keep in mind, if your Ledger Live becomes out of date, that means that it does not have the most current information that it needs to communicate with these various blockchains to pull in the data. And so that can cause account synchronization error where, if you're on, let's say you're on version 2.26 of Ledger Live and the latest version is 2.53 and your Bitcoin account just won't synchronize, it's because it straight up just lost the ability to communicate with the Bitcoin blockchain. So it can no longer pull in that information. So very first thing, make sure you're up to date. If you ever have any account synchronization errors, weird errors, make sure you're up to date. Next thing is clear your cache in Ledger. So when you clear your cache, you go to the settings menu. I'll show you. I have it pulled up. Okay. I also have a firmware update available for my Nano S Plus that I never installed, so I better do that eventually. But for right now, we're going to go to the settings. I'm going to go to help. And then, so the settings, in case you missed that, it's this little gear icon in the top right corner up here. You go to the help tab. You see clear cache right here. So this forces the resynchronization with the blockchain. So if you go to the About tab and you see 2.53.2 Ledger Live version, that is the most updated version. So if I was having account synchronization errors, I would have a red X right here and it would say can't synchronize, or it would say synchronization error. There's a couple different error messages that pop up for that. You can go here, make sure you're on the latest version. If so, go here, and then clear your cache. And this will force your accounts to synchronize with the blockchain. It'll restart. Copy into here, you go to your accounts tab, and you can see now it's going through and it's synchronizing my accounts one by one. And it's pretty quick because I only have a few accounts. Few accounts loaded in here. Still working on that ETH, still synchronizing. And that should be a green check here pretty soon. Now, that being said, if you're having persistent synchronization errors, it could be due to something else. If you have a VPN running on your computer, that can often cause issues with Ledger Live. It can make it difficult for Ledger Live to route the internet traffic through our servers to the blockchain and display that information back to you. So try disabling your VPN and clearing your cache and see if it fixes that account synchronization error. If so, you'll know it's because of your VPN. And recently, Ledger Live is no longer supported for Windows 7 from a couple versions back. And so it could be the case that your operating system is outdated, or it could be the case that your operating system simply needs to be updated. Like let's say you're already on Windows 11, but you have a bunch of pending updates for your OS and your computer. You just need to restart your computer to do that. It's always a good idea to install those updates because we build Ledger Live to be compatible with the most recent versions of these operating systems. So if you let your operating system fall too far back, it's the same deal. Then Ledger Live can have an issue operating on that version of your operating system you have. So looks like it's still synchronized. That's normal. It can take some time sometimes. Okay, cool. Let's see what other questions. Oh, and if all those things are checked off the box and you're still getting weird account synchronization errors, it is not unheard of for us to have some issues. Like maybe if you guys follow us on Twitter, you'll know that there's a current issue right now with ERC20 and BEP20 tokens for Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain accounts. No actual security issues. It's just there's a small glitch right now with Ledger Live where it's having trouble sending these tokens from people's accounts. We have workarounds for it. You can just connect your Nano straight to MetaMask, and or you can connect to any third-party wallet that you're comfortable with, and you can sign your transaction from there just as secure as Ledger Live. It's not the greatest workaround, but at least you know that no matter what happens, you're never going to be locked out of your funds, especially with always other compatible wallets to connect to, ever any issues like that in Ledger. And also, it's only affecting a small amount of tokens, not all tokens. So it's a small handful of people that are dealing with it. But if you are dealing with that and you'd like some help connecting to MetaMask, reach out to us, and we'll get you squared away on that. James Reynolds. Yes. Let's see. Let me read your question out loud. Hi. I didn't realize what time it is. It's 4:55, but we started late, so we'll go a little later. So James Reynolds. Hi. I currently earn decent interest on Polygon on Binance, but I want to keep my Polygon on Ledger. Can I do that? So basically, you want to secure your crypto on cold storage, but you still want to stake your Polygon. And yes, you can do that. I'll show you how. So let's switch to here. I've got Matic right here. And then let's see if I can remember this. Wallet. Do you remember the Polygon? .com. Bear with us here. Let's just go like this. Staking.polygon. Okay. So we found it. Go here to staking.polygon.technology. So I mentioned this before, but one weird thing about Polygon is that to stake it, you actually have to have it on the Ethereum network. So let me pull up my live. Let me go back to my accounts. So if I wanted to stake my Polygon, look, it's still synchronized. And this will synchronize after this gets. But like I said, sometimes it can take a minute. All right, so let's see. So I had a little bit of Matic in here, but I've recently actually bridged it. So this Matic that's in this account was in this Ethereum account, but I actually bridged it over to Polygon mainnet. That way I can have other blockchains, for examples, to show people. So if I wanted to stake my Polygon in this account, I would actually have to bridge it back over to Ethereum right here. And then it would show up right here in my Ethereum account. But to stake your Polygon, you'd want to send it to, so you'd want to withdraw it from Binance to your Ethereum account over the Ethereum network. That way it shows up as a Matic token in your Ethereum wallet. So you have a balance in there. Then you'll go to staking.polygon.technology, and then you're going to want to connect your wallet. I've connected to this before, so I'm going to go ahead and log out so I can show you the process for that. In fact, I'm actually going to do one better than that. I'm gonna go here. I got all these different accounts. I'm gonna go here. I'm going to remove this account from MetaMask. That way I can show you what it looks like to add an account. Okay, let me go back to it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. This should still be up. Quit out of this. Okay, so I'm gonna want to go to the Ethereum application right there, have that open and ready. This is how you connect your ledger to MetaMask. I'll go here. I'm going to choose this option to connect hardware wallet. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to choose ledger. Hit continue. It detects my Nano S Plus, so I'm going to click on that and I'm going to connect it. Takes a minute. So here's my account that I just removed. I can very easily add it back in. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to unlock it. And then here we go. So we got our ledger now hooked up to MetaMask. So really that process that I just did, even though it looks different in MetaMask's interface, that's actually pretty much the exact same thing as going up here, clicking add account, and creating your Ethereum account right here live. Now we just have it hooked up in MetaMask. So let me click out of that. Go back here. We're going to log in. We're going to do it with MetaMask. We are going to select Ledger 1. We're going to connect. Okay. So we have it connected now. So then now you can go here and you can actually stake your Matic. I actually don't have any Matic. I don't have any Matic to stake because it's on the Matic network. But this is the process you would go through. So now, if I did have Matic in this account, I would be able to select which validator I wanted, and then obviously do your own research on which validator you want to select. You want someone with relatively low fees, but with a good amount of Matic, and there's different criteria for every blockchain. I won't get too deep into that here. But let's say I wanted to delegate to this guy right here because he has a low fee, low commission, and a good amount of Matic, and this is reporting it as being a healthy delegator. A healthy validator. Then I can delegate. And then at this point, I would be able to, I don't have any, obviously, but if I had some, then you can do that and you can stake it right here through the staking.polygon.technology website. And so this would actually keep your Polygon, let me switch the name shot. This will actually keep your Polygon protected with cold storage, but delegated through a validator to the Polygon network. And it's pretty complex, everything that I just went through. So if you do have more questions about that and you want someone to actually walk you through it and help you out with it, answer any questions you have, support ticket, and we got you. All right, so it looks like it's 5 o'clock. I will probably one more question, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, okay. You do that on ETH with Ledger with Lido. Yeah, I didn't mention Lido. Lido is a little bit interesting. So Lido is the liquid staking. It's you can stake through Lido and it locks it up, and then you receive ST Matic into your account. And liquid staking is super cool. It's a very interesting topic. But it is different than staking through a traditional staking pool, like what I just showed you. So basically, the way liquid staking works, and it's the same thing if you stake through Lido with Ethereum. It's pretty much a one-way trip for your Ethereum, and you in return you receive ST ETH, or if you do Polygon, you receive ST Matic in your wallet, and it becomes a token. And it's really confusing because when you hold ST ETH or ST Matic in your wallet, it will automatically grow in size with rewards, but there will be no incoming transactions into your wallet. And so it makes it really difficult to determine how many staking, like what staking rewards you're receiving, where you'll actually have to go in and look at your wallet balance from a previous date and compare it to the current date amount and subtract the total. And then that's how much rewards you've received. It's cool, but and you can swap out of that token at any time. But that's kind of a brief overview of how Liquid. EOS. Okay. Oh, actually. Um, Sorry about the pronunciation. Yodi Sharma. Really sorry to hear about this situation. It's so yes, to answer your question, your funds can be tracked through the blockchain, and in fact, if this did happen, then you're going to want to contact the authorities and you're going to want to get a police report established. We might be able to help a little bit with the tracking of your funds, but if you're hoping to recover your funds, the only way to do that is by getting help from the police. And it can be really difficult to do because the space is so new and not a lot of people, especially police officers, have knowledge about how this stuff works or whatever. But basic rule of thumb is to treat it like any other crime. Like if someone were to break into your house and steal things from your house, you would call the police and make a police report. It's the same basic idea. And the reason for that is when you're tracking your stolen funds through the blockchain, if they do land on a centralized exchange that requires identity verification, then it is possible for the police to subpoena that exchange and say, hey, this incoming transaction was a result of a theft, and we need you to release this information to us. And in some cases, the exchange will. And we've had cases where users have recovered their funds in that. But it's really important to know that, like us, like unfortunately, there's very little that. Um, so that's your best route. But definitely reach out to us if you decide to go down that route. Definitely reach out to us, and we'll help in any way we can. Cool. All right. Let's see. So this is probably gonna be the last question, Stephen G. I want to move my EOS to Ledger. It says third-party wallet required. Is that safe? Yes, that is safe. And let me switch back to this shot and show you what's going on. Let's close down this Polygon thing. Let's close down this Ian Coleman, Bit39. All right, cool. That's good. Let's go first to Ledger Live. Hop into the My Ledger tab. And then down here, it's going to ask us to allow Ledger Manager, which we will. Okay, let's look up EOS. All right, so it says requires third-party wallet. Let's go ahead and install the app preemptively. And then let's open up this support page and see what it says. All right, so EOS. Create EOS account with third apps. See where that brings us. All right. This article explains how to create a Ledger EOS account with your Ledger device and third-party wallet software. So, let's see, boom. We got the EOS app installing on the Nano. Like it's already done. All right, so we need to use the Scatter EOS wallet, which is available here. Let's see what that looks like. GitHub. So we have Mac OS. Actually, let me open up this. Something real quick on my end. Okay, well, so we would want to install this Mac OS for the Scatter wallet right here. And then if you go back here, we're getting a little low on time. Might have time to actually go through all this. It looks like this is actually a really good support article, pictures and everything. But to directly answer your question, this is perfectly safe to do. This is actually, as long as you go through the process here and you don't actually import your recovery phrase and you just connect your hardware wallet to this wallet and import your public wallet address, your private keys are going to be kept safe. And then you can secure your EOS in this wallet by using your Nano. And it's still considered cold storage. It's still just as secure as using Ledger Live. It's just going to require a little bit of additional steps to go through. But yeah, it's an option. And like I mentioned before, EOS is a popular blockchain, so there's a good chance that there will be full support for it eventually in Ledger Live, but the beast takes a long time to grow, so we're still working on it. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's very safe to do. Let's see. I think that's pretty much all the time that we have today. It's been my pleasure to answer your guys' questions. This was a ton of fun. I love the onboardings and showing how to set up the Nano, but it was really cool to actually be able to get in here and just show you guys things. Like here's how when I get a question, here's how I look up the answer. Here's how I figure it out. Here are the things, the tools that I use to look at these things. Like that kind of stuff can be invaluable. So yeah, I hope to see you guys again next week for another AMA. Bring your questions, bring your friends, and yeah, hope to see you soon. I can figure out how to stop this. Okay, there we go. All right, got it. All right, see you later, guys.